everybody, welcome to my channel. This is obviously the last thing that I need right now with all the books that I've been buying, but we're gonna be talking about all the books that are coming out in June. Obviously, if you have not seen one of these before on my channel, we do focus on fantasy, romantasy, romance, thriller, horror, and a couple of general fiction, but not too much of it. So let's just get into it. And we're starting on June 2nd. There's a lot of stuff. It's always the summer. The summer always has so many releases that I don't know what to do with myself. And May was bad. May was very, very bad. And I think I talked about it in my last video, but I said I wasn't gonna buy anything in May, and I guess we're gonna do a no by June now, because I definitely bought a lot of stuff in May, like a lot of stuff that I'm so excited about, but I didn't need to buy that many books. So no by June, potentially. So starting on June 2nd, we have Valley of the Moms, and this one definitely was like, wow, this cover looks so cool. I really like this title. It is a adult mystery thriller fiction book. And the big selling point was Stepford Wives meets Big Little Lies. Now, Big Little Lies, I was not a fan of the book. I'm not a fan of Elaine Moriarty's writing style. However, I loved the series. I love the ideas behind her books. It really is just a writing style. Stepford Wives, which is one of my favorite movies, and meets Big Little Lies. I'm very excited about this. Hamilton, Massachusetts is one of those suburban towns that appears untouched by the outside world, where million-dollar property is affordable and where the parent-teacher organization is a hotbed of controversy. Main character Anna Plummer is not a fan of the area when she realizes her second grader won't be able to attend the ZD with your sweetie school dance. Ooh, that's already a red flag. Because she didn't pay the premium membership, she snaps. She sends an email to the terrifying president of the PTO, and all hell breaks loose. Anna, 1 year later, is found dead in the frozen Ipswich River. Left to pick up the pieces, her husband, Danny, is shaken to the core. He's no expert, but he's seen enough Dateline to know that the police think he's the main suspect. If they aren't going to get justice for Anna, he will. Told through the alternating perspectives of Anna and Danny exactly 1 year apart, and with a shocking concluding twist, gripping look at the underpinnings of grief, the social structures of wealth, and the secrets people keep. I think that sounds so good. I think my only concern is that it could be really, really sad because it is a husband-wife telling the story and she's dead. I also hope that that's not like a ruined twist. That's sometimes why I don't read synopses. So I hope that it really is really twisty besides that kind of thing happening. Next coming out on June 2nd is Lies Between Us by Jessica Goodman. I've liked some Jessica Goodmans. I haven't liked other ones. Generally, her books don't seem to do very well on Goodreads, but they're really fun. They're just really simple, easy young adult mysteries. Razor-sharp murder mystery set during the summer when a local teen's suspicious death exposes the devastating secrets three sisters keep. Next is The Last Time We Drowned. A lot of thriller mysteries. This is also a thriller mystery. This one is adult. 6 influencers, 1 luxury yacht, nowhere to hide. That sounds exactly like what I want to read. I love reading stuff about influencers and movie stars and stuff like that. It's just so much fun because inevitably it's a lot of commentary on the influencer world and how people act, and so I generally just really enjoy it. Locked Room psychological thriller where luxury curdles into terror and survival comes at the highest price. That's a pretty good tagline. Ooh, this is an interesting one. So this is the release by Cindy Pham, who is a booktuber, The Secret World of Briar Rose, and it obviously is not doing very well. A 3.29 is incredibly low before the book has even come out. Unfortunately, I did try to read it. I only made it about 2 chapters before I realized it was not for me, and it is one of those situations where I'm gonna blame the publisher for not having an author's back. Like, if you're going to choose to publish something, it's on the publisher to stand by that book and give them all the resources that they need. Editing, an editing team. This just doesn't read like it was ready to come out yet. It's the writing's rough. The writing is really, really rough. And again, to me, it's not that much on the author. Like, if the author is able to sell their idea and sell their work, that's fantastic. I do think this book was let down by the publisher and an editor, and it just really needed more time. And I've talked about it a lot about debut books. There's a lot of debut books out there that they get picked up because it's a really, really good idea and they're shoved out of their little baby bird nest before they're ready. And unfortunately, this does seem to be one of those cases. It just needed a lot more work, what I read of it so far. And I can't say too much else just because it was only 2 chapters, but the 2 chapters I read, they were rough. A lush and immersive queer sleeping beauty retelling about escapism, grief, and dreaming of a better world as imagined by the YouTuber. See, and when you say as imagined by YouTube star Cindy Pham, it's like the publisher does not have their best interest in heart, in my opinion. That is selling an image over a book, and that's really disappointing. And I love the cover. This is a gorgeous cover. They did great with the book with that, but the inside has to be as pretty as the outside. And again, I do think the publisher let her down and kind of used her image to get what they wanted. And I think that is unfortunate. And that is just my opinion. That is just my opinion. That is not fact. That is just my opinion. This is one a lot of people are excited about. This is probably going to be my last chance for Catherine Arden because I have not enjoyed her last two books. And that's just a personal, don't love her writing style. It's very proper and very formal, and that's just not generally the style that I like to read. And it's very historical. Like, her stuff is very, very, very historical, and you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of historical fiction, but this probably will be my last chance for her. But it sounds really good. Her premises always sound really, really good. And I get why people like her books. With her country's future and her own life at stake, an orphan duchess must journey into a world of myth and there discover a power that may be her salvation or her demise in this enchanting new novel. The Children by Melissa Albert. I believe this is the same author as the Hazelwood. I think it's the same author. An intoxicating, haunting new novel from Melissa Albert in which the estranged adult children of the legendary author, written into their dead mother's beloved fantasy series, contend with the vine-like creep of legacy, memory, and magic. And that does feel somewhat similar to the Hazel Witch. Like, it's very mixing a blend of real world and fantasy. So I believe this is the same author. The next release by Red Tower, Nobody's Quest. This one sounds pretty cool, but they always sound pretty cool. The goddess needs a nobody, the prince needs a miracle. Solely Grey Mind might be both. High stakes romantasy filled with slow burn romance, found family, and a heroine who never expected to be anyone's first choice, which I kind of love that. I love the chosen one who doesn't act like a chosen one and like who isn't supposed to be a chosen one. I really like that trope. I think that's fun. Next one is The Secret Attic by Chelsea Conrad. The past isn't just haunting her, it's hunting her. And this one looks to be an adult horror thriller. Love those. I love a horror thriller. The deeper Addison digs, the clearer it is that some secrets were meant to stay buried, and the husband she thought she knew may be hiding the darkest one of all. I always am a little nervous when I see a typo in the synopsis. The deeper Addison digs, the clearer some secrets were meant to stay buried. Like, if you can't get that right, that's a little concerning. The open era, this sounds so much fun. I'm also moving into my romance era, which is very exciting. So you guys, don't be surprised if you see a couple of romance vlogs. I know that's not normal for this channel, but I feel like it might be a little bit of a breather, a breath of fresh air compared to all the fantasy stuff we normally do. So I think I'll probably have a romance vlog out soon. Love evens the score between two tennis players in the stunning debut romance. And I do believe it is, yes, it is a romance, sports, queer, LGBTQ+, a male-male romance. Another author who I actually very much enjoy their books. This is their, I think, debut adult release. I know I've read 2 young adult books by them and have really enjoyed both of them. This is Man of My Dreams. A romance author is shocked when one of her characters in progress seemingly comes to life, but is he too good to be true in this dramatic and twisty thriller perfect for fans of Ashley Winstead and Kate Alice Marshall, where the truth really is stranger than fiction, and it says thriller, romance, mystery. I got a physical arc of this one. This is Marion. I'm so excited to read this one. I would really like to read this one in the early, beginning of June. A twist on Hitchcock's iconic classic Psycho, where the leading lady doesn't die, but instead turns the knife on Norm, kicking off a crime spree that turns the silver screen victim into a heroine for our times. I love that. It says Norman was her first. Love that. Next on June 2nd, we have so many on June 2nd. This is Shadow Reaper. I'm very excited. I really need to finish her first series. I gave The Prison Healer 5 stars and then I never continued. And I have all the books. So I really need to read and finish that trilogy before I start this one. But I love this cover. I think it looks so good. I actually saw a copy early out yesterday when I was out yesterday. The temptation to buy it was real, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Never Bargain with a Reaper. And I love Reaper stories, and they're not done that often. The city of Aravel is in peril, plagued by a deadly black mist that kills all it touches, and Reapers who roam the streets stealing magic from innocent children in their thirst for power. 17-year-old Viridia Solis has trained for years to hunt these Reapers, but their ranks keep growing, led by the man who murdered her parents, the notorious Reaper priest. This sounds so fun. I don't think I knew what this was about. The priest's most loyal follower, Reeve Ashton, is captured. Okay, we're good. We're good. I'm in. I just pre-ordered this. I literally just pre-ordered this. It has a gorgeous pre-order incentive, a new cover. It's stunning. It's stunning. So, I think when this comes out, you'll have like a day, 2 days maybe, if you want to pre-order this and go look at the pre-order incentive. I'm currently reading their book, Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I've been reading it for forever, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I just keep forgetting to go back to it. A mystery about 5 teen geniuses, their billionaire father, and the investigation into his murder. 5 prodigies, 1 dead father, a mansion full of suspects. And again, this is a young adult mystery. I really like young adult mysteries. I think they're fun. Kissed by the Gods. Lena has spent a lifetime submitting, kneeling, enduring. Then soldiers come for her brother. Divine fury surges through her veins. Instead, Riot, a God-sworn warrior born to privilege and raised in order, drags her into a world that was never meant for her. I don't know about this one. It doesn't immediately strike interest in me, but I have seen people talking about this one. And then Sublimation. I think this sounds so cool. I immediately, when I heard the name and I saw the cover, I was like, this has got to be Severance. And then I read the synopsis and it says for fans of Severance. I don't think it does on this one, but it said fans for Severance. Another thing that I read. Doppelgangers, corporate intrigue, heartbreak. Oh no, there it is. For fans of Severance that asked what you'd sacrifice for a different life from award-winning author. And basically you cross the border and you split into 2 separate people and one person lives a life there, one person lives a life elsewhere. And again, very Severance. Very exciting. I think this sounds really, really cool. Next up, we finally have June 9th. I do think June 2nd is the date that we had like the most stuff on. I also already have this pre-ordered and it is Harvest Season Book 2 in the Cape Carnage series, or I thought it was Cape Carnage. No, it's the Seasons of Carnage, which I guess makes more sense. The first one was called Taurus Season. I enjoyed Taurus Season. I think I still like Butcher and Blackbird, the first book, better. So right now with Bryn Reaver's books, it would be Butcher and Blackbird, Taurus Season, which I like the setting of Taurus Season better, but Taurus Season and then Leather and Lark I wasn't the biggest fan of. I still have not read Scythe and Sparrow yet. I'm gonna read it when the deluxe edition comes out. But I actually really enjoyed Taurus Season. I thought it was really fun. I loved the ending. I think the ending is what really kept me, oh, that's a little propeller plane. The ending is what kept me really, really interested in the book. Because I will say the middle section kind of lost me a little bit, but I liked the characters and I loved the ending and I liked the beginning and I liked the setting. So I am excited to see if this one can hold my attention for the whole book a little bit more. And that's all I can say about it. But it's basically following murderers in this little small town that seems to draw in strange people. I love this cover. This is a new cozy fantasy release. The reimagining of Thornwood House. I love this cover. A witch and her young ward discover a magical walking house and learn the true meaning of home in this cozy, enchanting novel. That's all I really need to know about that one. I don't need to know a lot about my cozy fantasy. I feel like I'm also entering my cozy fantasy era. I feel like I'm enjoying cozy fantasies more than I have been, but we'll see. That could be a fluke. That could be a fluke with Mystical Cat Shelter. So I haven't been super interested in CJ Lead books so far. I do want to read Mayfly, but I definitely didn't want to read their last one. This one sounds really good. This is the first one that I'm like, I really need to read this one. Every instinct tells him to run. Every memory tells him he can't. I love Special Agent. I love when there's an FBI person in something. Special Agent Daniel Stansfield is ready for a change, burnt out and defeated by the job. It's his last day with the FBI, but before he can turn in his badge, he's summoned back to Denver, the city he ran from 4 years ago, with a chilling message: it's happening again. Seemingly innocent people are waking up on the side of the highway with no memory of how they got there, wearing the skin of victims they've allegedly never met. And they each share one haunting detail: a strand of a stranger's hair is tied around their tongue. Disgusting. Disgusting. But I'm so excited. I'm going to double check that there's no animal killing in this, because I mean, obviously that main picture does make you a little bit nervous. Sounds good, and it says for fans of The Shining and Longlegs. And the thing is about Longlegs, I went and saw that in theaters. That's actually a really funny story. My husband will not watch horror movies. I'm a huge horror movie fan. I was so excited for Longlegs. I finally convinced him to go see Longlegs in theaters. And it's the first movie I've ever been able to convince him to go, the first horror movie I've ever been able to convince him to go watch in theaters. We both hated it. We both hated the movie. I hated the vibe. I actually love the beginning. I actually like the vibe. I like the vibe. I did not like the story. And generally I like a story like that. I just don't like how it was told. I don't really like how it was shot. I liked the FBI vibe, but I didn't like anything else about it. And he's sitting there, and I remember about 2/3 through the movie, we're sitting side by side, and I look over at him, cracking up, and he just turns very slowly towards me, and he goes, "Never again." And I was like, no, why did I pick Longlegs as the one? So now I gotta convince him to go to horror movies again. Oh man, I had one chance. And that movie blew it for me. Longlegs, big miss for us. However, if it has the vibes of Longlegs with the FBI stuff, I like that. Heather, this is another one I will be reading for specific purposes. There's a couple in here, the Schaefer Saratoga, the Conrad one, or it's Caitlin Conrad, is that who I said it was? The Staircase book, and then now Caitlin Mullen. A lot of these are from specific authors, and I'm not gonna say yet what I'm reading it for. I might have before, but it has to do with a horror thing that I'm doing. So this is a book that I'm hoping to get to. For readers of The God in the Woods. That's a trophy book for me. The fact that I read that and understood it and grasped everything that happened in it with how convoluted that book was and how all over the place it was with all the different perspectives. I have that as a trophy upstairs because I think I only give it like a 3. Small town detective reopens an unsolved case. Another big thing. I love cold case books. Cold case books are amazing. Sending shockwaves across generations of women in this gripping new mystery. Ooh, I already own this one. This came out early for Aardvark, Our Sister's Keeper. This sounds fantastic. This is an adult horror book. Historical fiction horror is something I actually very much enjoy. I'm hoping this one gives me the same vibes as The Reformatory because this has a similar vibe to it. The Reformatory was one of my favorite books from, I don't know if it was last year, I think it was 2 years ago. Mississippi, 1927. The Groanings Are Coming. Terrifying. No town is perfect, but East Cobb comes close. It's a wealthy, all-black free town, untouched by white oppression, where ambitious Thea Elliott and her husband plan to make good on their big dreams. Little do they know that their idyllic town teems with ghoulish walking nightmares that only the women can see. Yeah, that sounds so good. It sounds so good and terrifying. And then I can't really talk about this much because I haven't read the first book either, but this is the second book after in the Fire and Metal series. I did not know it was called that. It is the what is the first one called? Metal Slinger, right? Metal Slinger. It's still on my list. I'm gonna read it. I just got scared when it came out, everyone was like, oh my God, this is so good. And then BookTube got a hold of it and everyone was like, what is this? So now I'm like, I've been putting it off. But this is the second book. It is coming out in June. Next up, June 16th, we have The Shrouded Queen. I love this cover. And I've been asking for it, so I will be reading it. Egyptian mythology. There's never Egyptian books. Like there are so few Egyptian stories. I'm so excited for this. First book in this romantic duology inspired by ancient Egyptian mythology. A slave and a princess switch places during an enemy attack, igniting parallel journeys of love and survival. So I normally don't love this type of story, the swapped personas story. I just feel like it's very overplayed. I've read so many books relating to it. However, I'm going to give this a shot because it is Egyptian mythology and I've been dying to read an Egyptian mythology story. I always like reading about things that I don't know that much about. So while I'm reading this, I'll probably get to research a bunch of stuff, which I'm excited about. The Summer Fun Massacre. I think this is no, because I've only read one Craig DeLute. I always give authors 3 chances unless the book is offensive. I've read 13 Ghosts. Nope. Think that's a movie. Episode 13. 13 Ghosts is literally a movie with Matthew Lillard in it. I actually like that movie. I think they're coming out with a reboot or a second one. Anyway, I read episode 13, which loved some of it, hated the ending. But there was something there. So this one sounds fun. The Summer Fun Massacre. Surviving the Massacre is just the beginning and this razor-sharp take on the summer camp slasher. And then it talks about summer 1983 and also summer 1992. So I love a slasher that has dual timelines. The Someday Garden. I haven't read an Ashley Paul. I have all of her books. have all of her books, have not read an Ashley Poston in so long. I really need to prioritize those in the romance blog if I actually do one. A new head gardener in this enchanting Lilymore house stumbles upon a secret garden with a mysterious man trapped inside in the next magical novel. This is another one that I will be reading for that video if it ever comes out. Someone Else's Husband, Kimberly McRae. I have read one of her books before and I enjoyed it. I just don't remember anything about it. It was a very generic domestic thriller, but it was so fun when I read. I remember enjoying it so much, but I just don't remember anything about it. Story of two women whose secrets and desires entrap them in a deadly love triangle. That doesn't surprise me. It seems like most of what she writes is domestic thrillers. Ooh, Dearly Departed. This sounds cute. I'm a little nervous about this one, but this is I see it says romance fantasy, but I would say it's a romance with fantastical elements because it does seem like it is romance first. And it doesn't seem like it's like supposed to be fantasy. Hope is a dangerous thing for gods, even former ones. Hayden Harlow, once the mighty Hades, has spent centuries quietly resenting his fall from immortality. Stripped of his godhood by the allegedly irreversible Immortal Retirement Act, he now runs Harlow and Sons funeral home. It sounds so fun. It sounds so fun. So I'm excited to check this one out. And then we have our new Brandon Sanderson release, Songs of the Dead. People are not loving this one so far. A London rocker, oh yeah, it's totally different than what he normally writes. London rocker is faced with a life or death choice when he realizes that a powerful society of magic wielders are the only ones keeping London safe in this deft contemporary fantasy. I feel like, oh, it's co-written by Brandon Sanderson and musician Peter Aurelian. That's really cool. I really feel, this is gonna be a hot take. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be a hot take. I loved Brandon Sanderson's Wizard's Guide to Surviving Medieval England, something like that. Frugal Wizard's Guide. Love it. I love that book. I have 2 copies of it. I'm obsessed with it. I think it's fantastic. It's very lit RPG. People hate it. And I think it's because it just doesn't fit his normal Cosmere stuff. It's gonna be mean. I honestly think his fans don't want him to write anything but the Cosmere related things. Like, that's what it feels like. Anytime his stuff branches into like anything else, people shit on it. Like, the number of people who shit on the Frugal Wizard's Guide was so disappointing because I read it and I was like, this is great. Like, this is so good. The writing is so good. It's so fun. It is so lit RPG. It's very Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm going to say that right now, for all the people who love Dungeon Crawler Carl and did not give Frugal Wizard's Guide a chance. It's the same humor. It's the same style. They're both lit RPGs. It was the first thing my husband said, because my husband reads a lot of lit RPG. A lot of lit RPG. He read Frugal Wizard's Guide and he read Dungeon Crawler Carl, and he's like, yeah, these are both great. They are very similar books with their style and their writing and everything. So just like, I want to put that little bit out there, for that. I know that is a very hot take, but I'm still really mad that that book has bad ratings. Very butthurt about it. But anyway, seems like a similar treatment is going on with this book. It is something very different, and it does not seem like people are enjoying it. And it could just be a bad book. I mean, Brandon Sanderson is a human. He can write a bad book, but it does seem suspicious that the ones that do poorly are the ones not in the Cosmere. Just saying. Ooh, I didn't realize we had so many Tuesdays in June. I thought this was going to be the last date, but no, there's another one. So this is June 23rd. This is the 6th Nick. I don't love the cover, but it says it's a hybrid of Alien and Ender's Game. Alien is one of my favorite, I can't say franchise. It's not my favorite franchise. I love the first Alien. I like Aliens, and I like Prometheus. They do get a little bit gory for me. I need to do a series we rewatch. I'm actually currently in the middle of watching Alien 3, which, if you know anything about the Alien franchise, Alien 3 is weird. It was done by like a different director. It went in a completely different direction than what the rest of the series is. It's weird. It is very weird. And later movies have retconned it so that Alien 3 doesn't exist. Like, actively doesn't exist in the franchise. It's just kind of there. So I find that very interesting, that this says Alien franchise and Ender's Game, which makes me very exciting. First sci-fi novel, and they're the ones that wrote Whalefall and Angel Down. I have not read either, but Whalefall always interested me. But for some reason, I'm not claustrophobic in real life. I'm claustrophobic in books. You could stick me in a cave. Well, probably I'd be claustrophobic in a cave. I feel like everybody is. But I can go sit in very small spaces. I can be in very small spaces. I fall asleep in MRI machines. That's kind of what we're dealing with here. If I read a claustrophobic book, I get a little panicky. So I haven't read Wellfall, but I still kind of want to. Deep into space, far past the Tri-World outpost, beyond range of the lethal Trollbot internet, soars the Sickness, a ship woven from biomatter and capable of reacting to every need of its human crew. And we're going to be investigating the enigma of Fem, a plague-riddled planet that has abruptly gone rogue. So I love a sci-fi. I think sci-fi's fun. So I probably will pick this one up. Winner Takes All. This is a romance I told you I was in my romance. I was in my romance era. I think this is a fun cover. When two rival music executives wake up married in Las Vegas with no memory of tying the knot, they have to recreate their night together while competing to sign the band of their dreams in this smart and sexy rom-com. I love a rom-com. Love a rom-com. Scandal of the Summer. A desperate debutante meets a ragtag smuggler in this sexy Regency rom. Apparently I'm about these Regency books. They're very relaxing to read. I just don't like some of the stuff in old Regency books, which is I don't read that many, but newer Regency stuff I actually really enjoy. All We Hunger For. A young woman sneaks her way into a magical baking contest but gets pulled into an elusive aristocrat's lavish world and his nefarious plan as rebellion brews in their city. For fans of a magic steeped in poison. This doesn't say cozy, but that sounds cozy, and it is a young adult fantasy book. So I would also throw a little bit of cozy in there. 9 Lives by Catherine Steadman. You guys know, Catherine Steadman and I, we have a complicated relationship. So this could be my next rant review. It was gonna be, you guys don't even know this. This is a little background. I was gonna do a rant review about My Husband's Wife by, Lucy Foley. Is that who it is? Because I have not liked the last couple of her books. I think the last 2 books I read by her were rant reviews. And so I was fully going into My Husband's Wife thinking it was going to be a rant review. And this is how you know it's for realsies, because I loved that book. And I know for a fact, if I had chosen to do a rant review, it would have done really well, but I really liked that book, so I could not slander it. There were some issues with it that, yeah, there are a couple of things that I get a little bit irritated with her writing, but it was a good book. It was a fun book. But this could be the next one. This could be the next rant review. But again, if I like it, I like it. That's just how it is. These are your neighbors. One is a killer. When she begins to peer into the lives of her glamorous neighbors, one woman discovers a terrifying secret in this riveting psychological thriller. Okay, this one has me. This is a trope that I will always love. I am not gonna lie. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I love a neighbor spying on a neighbor. And I think it's because one of the first horror, it's not really horror, it's really a thriller, but it's a thriller horror. Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf. I think it's the first thriller that I ever really watched, sat down with my friends and watched, and I loved it. And I think it changed my brain chemistry to that idea is one of my favorite tropes, is neighbors peeking in on other neighbors and finding them doing sketchy things and most of the time murdering people. And then they have to tell people and it's a mess. I love it. I don't know what it is, but I love it. So this could be really good. This could be really good. Okay, we are on the last date and there's actually a lot. There's a lot for June 30th. First, we have The Feywild Job. This is a gorgeous cover. Sparks fly when bitter exes are forced to team up for an elaborate Feywild heist in this cozy fantasy romance by the best-selling author of, oh, that's why I picked it. Okay, even though I knew the end, love it. I love that novella. It's so good. And I saw that she was releasing this, so I was like, yes, please. And I saw that they were releasing this, so I was like, yes, we have to look at this. And I do love this cover. This cover is stunning. It screams cozy fantasy. The Winged Game. I feel like this is being advertised everywhere. I feel like I keep getting ads for this book. Fantasy meets sports romance in this, no kidding. Sports romance is everything right now, so I guess I shouldn't be that surprised that a fantasy book meeting a sports romance would be very popular. It is, oh, it's adult. I thought it was young adult. That's on me. I thought it was young adult. Oh, and it's the same author as The God and the Gumiho, and I know everybody loved this book, in which the disgraced star of a brutal magical sport must team up with the rival who destroyed his career. Okay, it sounds good. And of course, The Next Six of Crows. It obviously is this is, I have some complicated feelings about this because I think it's epistolary. New Grishaverse short story, a mystery told through found documents and set after the events of Crooked Kingdom. I don't know how I feel about this because I went on my Grishaverse journey. I have read all of the books. It took me years and years and years to read all of them, but I have read all of them. I have complicated feelings going back to the Six of Crows world because I don't love how the rest of the books went after that. I still gave them like 4 and 5 stars, I think, but I feel like it was more nostalgia feels than anything. So now going back and adding context between Crooked Kingdom and the later books, because what is it? King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. So adding some context in there just makes me a little bit nervous, and I would have preferred a full book if we were going to do that. So I was very disappointed when it was announced that it was a short story and it was going to be letters, because I don't love epistolary kind of stuff. It's not my favorite. I thought I loved epistolary and documents and mixed media. I'm very hit or miss with it. So I'm a little bit disappointed in this release. I'm still gonna read it, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. Next up, we have the new Paul Tremblay, Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep. I hate this cover. I had a whole discussion with one of my friends about how much I hate this cover, and I don't like the UK edition either. So that's just a personal preference. I don't like eyeballs. I just don't like how it looks. Genre-bending near-future tech nightmare that is bitingly funny as it is horrifically believable. Julia Flang, a 20-something former semi-professional gamer living with her retired uncle and working 2 jobs she doesn't like. Out of the blue, her estranged mother, a CFO of one of the world's largest tech companies, offers her a temp job with a payday Julia can't refuse. Obviously, if there's something you can't refuse, it's probably bad. Ooh, and it's gonna have AI. Chaperone a man in a vegetative state with AI implanted in his head. Using a cell phone modeled after a video game controller, Julia fumblingly navigates the man she calls Bernie from the company campus and onto planes and through one of the largest airports in America. All the while, the man endures an ever-changing and worsening nightmare. Oh my god, this is terrifying. I don't know if I knew what this was about. Yeah, I will be picking it up. I've enjoyed Paul Tremblay before. I've been hit or miss with this author, so we'll see how it goes. Next one is by Rebecca Thorne, Mossed in Space. Cozy science fiction series. I really want to read a cozy sci-fi. Like, it's been a while since I've read a cozy sci-fi, and they're not super common to find, so this one does sound really cute. Torian Rasner finally bought a starship, and contrary to Amelia's assessment, it was not a meteoric sign of stupidity. Sure, the alien starship may have been abandoned for a century, and it may be covered in moss now, but it's Torian's ticket to freedom. Except Torian's first flight reveals a surprise passenger. The moss is actually an organic computer with a snarky attitude and serious abandonment issues. I mean, that sounds fun. It sounds cute. Oh, this has already been released, but this is the deluxe edition. So I did sort this by, Amy actually told me how to do this, sort this by editions and not just what's being published. So this is a new edition that is coming out. I kind of want it. Gothic sapphic romance meets supernatural suspense on a remote island in the Pacific Northwest as a night of forbidden passion opens a Pandora's box of dangerous secrets and dark magic in this sinfully spicy, that's why I didn't buy it the first time, standalone novel. I actually had this in my hands. Not this edition, but the other edition. I had the other edition in my hands, and I read that, and I was like, nope, nope. Sinfully spicy is generally not for me, but you know what? If it has a good gothic story around it, I could get over that. When dealing with dragons, bonding with dragons gave humans magic to craft metal. Now, 2 school rivals have to work together to protect a priceless secret, all while fighting their growing attraction to each other. And it's just another fantasy. I think it's young adult fantasy with dragons. And the very last book that we're going to be talking about, and one that I'm very excited about, it is The River She Became, high-stakes, action-packed romantasy. Relic Hunter searches for an ancient fae object to restore the magic to her world, but must learn to trust her own powers and her heart. For fans of The Cruel Prince and The Mummy, this thrilling start to a new fantasy duology bursts with dangerous romance, heart-stopping twists, and a heroine who dares to steal back her future. So I have been talking enough. That was so many books. There are so many books that I want to get. We're gonna try to be good. We're gonna try to be good in June. We're really gonna try. I don't know if I'll be successful, but we're gonna try our hardest. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know down below if there's anything that you're interested in. If there's anything that I missed, as usual, if I missed something, definitely let me know, because if I missed it, if it's not on here, I generally don't have it on my radar. If you made it this far into the video, leave an eyeball because I can't stop picturing the Paul Tremblay book that has an eyeball. So leave an eye emoji if you made it this far into the video. If you're interested, definitely check out my membership. We do a lot of cool things over there. There's a lot of exclusive content that I have over there. Make sure you subscribe so you miss any future content. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.